Hello everybody. My name is Jeff Solheim and welcome to the Certified Emergency Nurse Examination Review course. Believe it or not, this is our 9th edition of this course. We started teaching the CEN review course in 2004 and we've constantly updated it, partly to make sure that our course is in line with the Board of Certification of Emergency Nursing, and partly to make sure that our material is always up to date and as current as possible. And I really think that each time we do a revision, we get it a little better. So the fact that you are now taking part in the 9th edition of this course tells you that, well, we've come a long ways in making this the very, very best course possible for you to be successful on the exam and hopefully to learn a lot of stuff along the way as well. Now, just a few things that I want to mention about the course. This course involves numerous different modules, and you can of course watch them in any order you want. However, I'm going to recommend that you watch these in the order that we have recommended, because what I've done in this course is I've built each lecture on the one before it. So some of the concepts in the lecture that is supposed to be watched second, which is mental health emergencies, the information we teach there is actually going to be useful to you in some of the future modules. So while you don't have to watch them in order, if you watch them in the order we recommend, I think that it will make a lot more sense to you and everything will fit together better. Also, I want to mention that we do have a course manual that goes with this course. You do not need to get it. You can certainly study just by either watching or listening to these modules. However, I think you will find that having the course manual will help you in a lot of different ways. Number one, you are going to find numerous times throughout this course that there are some interactive exercises built in. And I will do my best to talk you through the interactive exercises. However, if you have the course manual, you'll actually be able to see them and they'll make a lot more sense to you, and I think it will help with your learning. Also remember, the more ways we stimulate our senses, the better we learn. So, right now you're listening to me speak, which obviously is auditory, but if you have the course manual, you can be following along and reading and highlighting and taking notes, which stimulates various other senses and it increases your learning. So, while it's not necessary to have the course manual, I might recommend that if you don't have it, that you look into getting it to go along with this course. Also, there's a lot of places throughout the course where there might be a list of a whole bunch of signs and symptoms associated with a particular illness, for example. And I'm not sure it's the best use of my time or your time for me to sit here and read to you a list of 15 or 20 symptoms. So there may be times where I simply say that you can refer to something in the manual rather than me sitting here and reading it to you. Now, I certainly will highlight and teach important symptoms on there that need some additional highlighting, so there will be teaching, but I will be referring occasionally to the manual as a way to kind of save some time and to make sure that I use, our time together wisely. So those are just a few things that I'm going to recommend as you prepare to take your CEN exam and using this study module for that. Now, let me start with a question. Why? Why are we even here doing this? What is the CEN all about and why are we preparing for it? Well, when you take the CEN and you're successful, you become board certified as an emergency nurse. So let me see if I can explain this better. When you graduated from nursing school, if you were from the United States, you took your NCLEX. Now, if you're from a different country, of course you took a different exam, but somehow you took an exam that proved that you had a certain knowledge base in nursing. And when you passed that exam, like the NCLEX, you were allowed to refer to yourself as a registered nurse, and you could use RN behind your name. It's illegal to use RN behind your name unless you are board certified as a registered nurse and have passed an NCLEX or similar exam. You can't use the term registered nurse or you can get in a lot of trouble. So what is the CEN? Well, the CEN is to a specialty what the NCLEX was to a generalist. So when you graduated, you took your NCLEX and you become a registered nurse, and you were identified as a generalist nurse, that you had, proven that you had basic knowledge to practice as a nurse. But it didn't prove that you had the knowledge to be a specialist. So if you want to become a specialist in nursing, you have to become board certified in your specialty. Now the CEN is the board certification for emergency nursing. So if you want to refer to yourself as an emergency nurse, you really can't do that until you've taken and passed the CEN. Once you pass the CEN, then you can say, I'm an emergency nurse because I'm board certified in that specialty. But we really can't you can't say I'm an emergency nurse unless you're board certified. And once you're board certified, what you're doing is you're proving that you have a certain knowledge base in your specialty. So that's what we're doing. This course is designed to help you get the knowledge to be successful, to pass the CEN. And when you pass the CEN, you are officially board certified as an emergency nurse, and you can now identify yourself as an emergency nurse. And by having your CEN, you're identifying not only to yourself, but to your peers, to your patients, and to your employees that you are a board certified emergency nurse with a core knowledge in emergency nursing. Does that make sense what we're doing here? Now, let's talk about how to become board certified.